I was having a day. It's January 25th, 2018. I've dreamed a couple of things, and it sounds kind of silly, but we're going to look at it and interpret the things as we go. January 24th, 2018, I dreamed that life had just been very frustrating. Well, that's true, you know, everything's spiritually diverting and splitting and missing and going around me. You know, the healing and stuff like it has since 2008. So, you know, that's been very frustrating as it was in this dream. So, I was going from this trip from North Georgia, where I'm at, down to Perry, Georgia, which is about 30 miles south of Macon, if you're familiar with Georgia. This was, I remember, a trip and a thing that was frustrating me in this dream. But it was only for one night. Then we were going to come back home the next day. So we were on the road we were going, I-75 heading south, and south represents hell. You know, you go down to hell. And then a voice said this: a Perry is an alcoholic drink that makes you drunken. So I researched that, and it said that it was some kind of drink with pears that was alcoholic. So it panned out that was accurate about a Perry. So in Perry, Georgia, I'm out at some house in a room. I look up and see a whole bunch of motorcycle stuff. Well, you know, you have motor skills, you know, you're thinking, you know, your motor skills going around and around. Motorcycle as motor skills going round and round in your head. And so like 50 times or more, I looked up to the front of the room and I saw the word ride, R-I-D-E. And you know, it was just along for the spiritual ride. So then a voice said, you don't see that much anymore. That went out of style a while back. So that means it's going to be a past thing, and you know, just like being light and whatever goes on, just along for the ride. You know, that went out of style a long time ago when Babylon fell, is really what it's saying, pointing to. So I looked to my right, and there was a bookcase down low as I was standing up. I saw a book that had on the cover, it just said church and the number 212. I remember I couldn't wait till the night was over. The night is the time of trouble. So I could go back home. Heaven is home. I don't deserve to go there. I've got a lot of sin in my life, and I'll be honest, I'm struggling with sin, and I deserve to go to hell. And being honest about it, straightforward. But that's what home represents as heaven. And in the dream, I wanted to go back home so I could make rainbow pictures, and this thing quit interfering with it after one night. And you know, I woke up. This 212 thing, the Strong's Hebrew 212 refers to a wheel or revolve like a motorcycle. It was saying, you know, the works of the church, the works thing just keeps revolving, you know, going around and around. That Strong's Hebrew 212, wheel or to revolve, you know, is what that was. And then in the Greek, 212 is boastfulness, pride, and arrogance. You know, as what 212 referred to, and it said church 212. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. So the second dream here, January 25th, 2018, I dreamed I was over at, my father's place, where he had lived. I was out in the yard and I had picked up garbage, that was in the yard, like food scraps and household garbage. I put it in white garbage bags. White represents purity. Garbage is spiritual things we don't need. And I'll be honest, I'm fighting with a lot of garbage. So it came up that I did other things before I could throw it away, or meaning my thoughts got the best of me. So while I was doing the other thing, the dogs got into the garbage and drug it out into the yard. They tore up the bags, and the dogs devoured the garbage, like they normally would, or a lot of them would. And this garbage was down toward where the basement would be, and the basement represents hell. And it got dark, and the time of trouble came. The dream changed to a street that's in Georgia called Lucky Street. It's L-U-C-K-I-E, not L-U-C-K-Y, but they say it Lucky Street. And I was in a storage house that my dad had built a long time ago, way back about 1990, I guess it was. And so it was dark outside. Then I went outside this storage house. Well, this place normally has a lot of trees and you can't see the sky. Well, in this dream, the trees were not there. So I could see the sky all the way around, all the way to the horizons, unlike in real life. And the trees represent the people and the nations and the cities. So I stood outside the storage house. And sadly this storage house represents, what the devil had stirred up. Or stored up, I'm trying to say. And a voice just all of a sudden, while I was outside and it was dark out, nighttime, said, animal faces appear in the sky. So you go read Revelation 6. Horses are animals, and it talks about a whole lot of faces. So I looked up, and then a voice said, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. I looked up, I could see sort of a reindeer image in the sky, the face. Then a voice said, when they have the rapture, you'll see the Savior in the sky, and he will light up the sky, and it's literal. You and everyone will see him in the sky. Well, let's look at this Rudolph red-nosed reindeer. R-U-D, that means red, or fame and popularity. And D-O-L-P-H, or Adolf, means wolf. So you have fame and wolves. And red is sin, crimson red. So 1, 2, 3, you have Rudolph. And you breathe life, through your nose, and sin cuts it off. And one foggy Christmas Eve, the minds were, fogged over about when Christmas was. And when I woke up from this dream, I looked at the clock. It said 7-11. And September 11, September meaning 7, and then everything that happened on 11. September is really the 7th month. So Rudolph going down in history, like the song says, all that stuff went down to hell. It went down and it was history. It was not remembered anymore. We'll go down in history. The wolves. And all the pagans went down to hell, and Rudolph, you'll go down in history. The ninth reindeer is totality. Or, not totality, finality and judgment. And the reins of your heart, you pull on it, like when you're guiding a horse, the reins, and that tells it what to do. So what's spiritually, telling your mind what to do, which is wolves and that was founded, by Robert May Lewis. The name Robert means famed and bright shining. May from the month of May, meaning Mary, Margaret, or Mabel. Mary means persistent in sin. Lewis is fame and war. And those are the two dreams that I've had, the 24th and the 25th January 2018. And I admit I don't deserve anything, and I don't deserve to go to heaven. And I'll be honest about it, because I am really, really, really struggling with, this thing that has gone on so long with me, everything diverting and splitting and going around, and I have slipped in my words. In my closet, I have slipped in my words, and I'll be honest with everybody about it, because I don't ever want anything to be hidden, and I don't have anything to hide. I can't hide anything. My tongue is failing, and I'm being honest about it. It's a major struggle, and this night in Perry, as it says, in this drunken Babylon, seems like it's never going to end, and I'm having trouble keeping hope, and I'm being honest about it. I hope everybody has a blessed day. Oh, there's one more thing that I'm going to read here. I almost forgot it. Let me just read this before I turn this recording off. So I had this vision, right after the Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer dream. In the vision, I saw this. The cloudy skies, I saw it light up white, and in that space where, it was pretty high in the sky, I could look up and see the Savior silhouetted against the bright, pure white place, and you could see the clouds in the background, and he hovered in the sky, probably at 5,000 to 6,000 feet, in that range. I didn't actually see this in the dream. This was a vision. This was what vision went through my mind at the end. And I got up, and that's when I looked at the clock, and it said 7:11. I hope everybody, has a blessed day, and is not fighting thoughts like I am, and fighting their tongue, and their tongue is failing, and I know my tongue is failing, my words are failing, and yeah, I'm just not real happy, with how my spiritual life is going right now, and I'm failing, and I don't deserve anything good, and I hope everybody else's spiritual life is going better than mine is right now. And a lot of relationships in my life have gone bad through the years, and so a lot of things have happened. Hope everybody has a good day.